Celestino. Buon compleanno.
Ciao. Grazie. Grazie mille. Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, a big birthday.
Oh, I have only 60 years old. No, not too much.
You're just getting started.
Exactly. I'm in the middle to my life.
Love it.
I hope.
Yes, for sure. Okay, well, I'm going to turn the time over. We're lucky that Marco is there in Verona with Celestino. So I think it just makes a big difference to have them together. But turning the time over to them, we've got kind of some key points that they'll go over, and then we'll allow time at the end for questions. So.
Yeah, so we'll start right away. This first offer on the club was on a very special wine from a special producer. And Celestino, in short, I love it. I think a lot of these people have seen you, have read about you. They heard the stories and all the wine and what you have done, but some of the key points about you and Zýmē.
So first, maybe the best is that I try to introduce myself and the story about this wine, because when I started with this wine, it was the time that no producer has this type of wine in the market. So, but I go back in the story. When I worked for 11 years with Giuseppe Quintarelli, that was my father-in-law. And then the problem was that it's not so easy to find a good relation and to go on with the winery to the family. And so I decided to bring another way. I stayed for many years wine consultant for other winery. And in the same time, after a few years that I did a very good wine, I have in my mind the particular idea about very high quality. And so the idea was to see if it's possible to realize in the real wine this level of quality. And I started in the 1999 with in my garage, where I crushed the grape by feet. And they use only the indigenous ferment, only the natural temperature. And they start with the Harlequin, that is this particular wine made with minimum 15 different variety, but all variety that came from in specific with the Verona area. After a few years, I decided to introduce the second wine, because at that time we had here in Verona the very important restaurant that the American consumer know, that is the Bottega del Vino. And the Bottega del Vino, you also replay the same restaurant also in Manhattan.
It's closed now.
Yeah, it was 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah. Bottega del Vino in New York City.
Exactly. And so the owner at that time has the collaboration with the Masi winery. And the Masi, he started before me with this type of grape, but not single vineyards, but in combination with Corvina. Because in this case, the Corvina is more delicate grape, and it gives to the wine also more complexity, more spice. And so at that time, they asked me if it's possible to produce the Oseleta grape in total, in single vineyards, with a specific label for Bottega del Vino, where in fact I produced for a few years with the name, as the name of the wine was Vago. Vago is the location where we have the vines. But After a few years, they have the contrast with the partners inside, and so the project is stopped. And me, I decided to go on with this project, also because it's a very particular and a unique wine. It's one grape that came from the Filosera, the indigenous grape from the Verona area in particular. And this was the grape that they use normally in blend with the Valpolicella grapes, because is one grape that give more color, more intensive color, more tannins, more acidity, and dry extract. But no producer in the time has produced in total Oseleta. And they know produce this grape, and also in the time was reduced also in the vineyards, because the production for plant is very limited. You arrive maximum 1 kilo per plant, because the grapes are 20-30 gram to 150 gram maximum, not more. The berries are similar to the blueberry, and they have 3-4 means inside, very big. And so with 100 kilo with the fresh grape, you can produce maximum 40 liters of wine. And then the second situation is that you must wait long time to permit the wine to be in balance about glycerin, about acidity, about tannins, etc., etc. But for me at that time was the idea to bring it to go on, because the idea was to realize the new winery where I suggested the wine that are not in the market. So the first was the Harlequin with minimum 15 different varieties. And the second was the Oseleta. The Oseleta at that time also, it was not approved and no certificate about grape. In fact, the first 2-3 vintages, I must declare only red wine Veneto, Regione Veneto, and stop. And only in the brochure or in the document for the final consumer, I can describe the variety, etc., etc. Anyway, I gone in the years. I must wait that the vines grow in age, because in this case you have a more soft situation just in the startup. I must wait many years in the barrique. In this case, I use the international size, 225 liters, part new, part second level, but the wine stay minimum today 7 years in the barrique before bottling. A part I put in the market in single vineyards, a part I use also today in the mix to the other red wine that I produce in the winery, the Valpolicella, the Amarone, the Recioto, etc. Always fresh grape, because if I use also the dry process in the end, it's very difficult to have the juice to do wine. It's a very good wine, not to drink alone, not to drink alone, because he has the identity, the personality, very clean and strong, and they not permitted to have too much interpretation. But is a very good wine in combination with a special food, in particular more boiled meat, grilled meat, fat fish, cheese medium age, because he has this potential that they clean the mouth when you are eating in the lunch or in the dinner. And in the same time, is also the fantastic in combination with this type of food.
So I've known you long enough that if you don't do something amazing, you don't do it. And you have an amazing experience about wine and Valpolicella and this land, that if you're producing this, you know there is something extremely special about this grape and what it can give and the uniqueness of it. Other than the grape, what does this wine means for you?
So first, I think that they use this wine in combination with our Valpolicella grape because the smell is neutral. It no has the particular characteristic or smell, and so it not disturb the identity to the other wine. And I think that they stop or they reduce in very limited production only because the quantity per plant is very limited. Now the market is changed. Now also the potential and the value to the final product in Valpolicella is changed in the last 30 years. And so today we have many producers, they restart to plant this variety. But today we are in 5 or 6 producers that they declare 100% Oseleta, but normally they use in blend with other grape for this characteristic. I think that is also one wine that you can drink in about 30 years, no problem.
Has a very long aging potential.
Yeah.
So Oseleta in Veneto.
The term.
Yes.
So
it's something funny.
The Oseleta is that because Oseleta is the dialect term for to tell bird, the small bird, piccolo uccello. And I think that they gave this name because it's the last grape you pick up in the harvest. And this was also one vines that live in the century in combination with the forest. And so it was the food for the birds. In fact, if you not pick up the grape, you can have the very good grape since to December, no problem. And this is the unique grape that permit you to do this risk.
But you told me also that you believe in the ecosystem, and sometimes you leave some grape for the birds to maintain the ecosystem.
Absolutely, yeah, because in these 60 years that I live in my life, I think that we destroy a big part to our country, our system, because in the past it was normal to have a part of the land where you have the vines or other type of vegetables, and normally also the limit to the citizen was realized with the trees, the small line of trees, and also where you have the particular position, don't know, the small valley or the inclination particular. Also in this case, they have the trees or other situation where maximum you cut the wood for the fire. And also in the past, every farm or winery farm has the animal inside. So the cow, the pig, the pool, etc. And this was all the situation that permitted to realize the food also for the wild animals. And in the last 30 years, they destroy to permit more vineyard, more vines. And today, in my opinion, if we want to go on, we must go back. This is my idea. It's important to respect also and to create a particular situation where these animals, not only the animals, but also many type of vegetables, plants, flowers that we have in the past is important to reintroduce in the ecosystem.
Yep.
we hope. I don't know.
Well, this is a very unique wine for me because, as Celestino said, very few people make it, and now it's becoming a trend. The market is asking for single vineyards, for single varietals. And even yesterday we tasted some other wineries, but I can guarantee you that this is a one of a kind. It's the identity of who makes it, the place where it comes from, and the fact that Celestino decides to allow the time to age at the winery for so many years, because he does not want this wine to go out and be imperfect. It is something that is very, very rare. And it is one of the wine that at the beginning attracted me to him when I did not really know him. I heard of this mythological winemaker in Valpolicella. And then when I tasted the Oseleta the first time many years ago, I was like, whoa, I have to meet this guy, because if you can make a wine like this with one varietal, describing all of these things, I just want to try everything else. And I think most of you have tried all his wines before.
So me, I burned the mountain. So in the same village to Marco, because we came from to the same base. And before to do wine, my family teach me to follow the animal, the cow, the pig in particular. They teach me to do cheese. They teach me to do salami and other product around. And they teach me that you must have respect with the soil, with the land where you walk every day. And for me, I think about my wine, but not only the Oseleta in general. The only risk is that if you drink, I don't know, 1-2 bottles in a short time, maybe the alcohol. But also in this case, for my experience, when the alcohol is the alcohol that came from to the natural process, where they not put in the same fermentation the other juice or the other wine for to give more power, more body, more dry extract, etc. In this case, you can create in the end the wine that is also for your body, for your system, good. It's not a medicine. It's also medicine if you drink in the quantity that correct. But anyway, is one wine that you, me, or for experience, you can drink. Normally, me and my wife, we drink 1 bottle in the lunch or in the dinner, and we never had problem. Because in other case, you drink half glass, immediately after you have some problem in the mind, because you have this sensation that it was too heavy, where you have the sensation that they put other product for to do wine. But in my experience, when I started with Giuseppe Quintarella, that he never used the selection ferment, for example, or he never used the refrigerator for to control the tartaric situation. It was the time where I can know the system and the parametry, the situation for to do a very good wine only with the quality from the vines and experience. And after, when the life introduced me in the wine consultant system that I stay for 17 years, in this case, I had the possibility to try in one harvest for example, 20 different ferment or many different protein or many different enzyme or tannins, etc., etc. And this experience permit me that when I taste 1 glass of wine, to know immediately if the producer, he respect the wine and he adapt itself to the product where he put the attention, he put the sensibility, and he give the time to permit the natural metabolism, the natural transformation, or if they press all the process to arrive with less cost in a short time, with the wine that is the explosion immediately when they put in the glass, when they open the bottle. But after you have the final product that is dangerous for our health.
Yeah, you guys have constantly hear me talk about that, and how some wines are healthy, they're good, and some others like really should not even be sold. But I know we are getting to a time, and Celestino is getting going on his dinner. But are there any questions about this wine or about Celestino? And I hope you had a chance to drink a few bottles since you got them. But if you have any questions, either type them or unmute yourself, and I'm sure Celestino can answer any of your questions.
Do you have any comments? This is John West. Do you have any comments about decanting this wine?
È meglio decantarlo? No.
No. About my wine, you no need to open the bottle before a few hours or to put in the decanter, absolutely no. And I tell this because this is also experience, my experience. In the past, in the vineyards, normally the producer use a lot of copper metal, okay, to protect the leaf of the vines and the grapes. And also some instruments that they use in the cellar was made, or part of the instrument was made with the copper metal. And this material is one material that is also important in the wine, in the balance to the wine, but we are speaking about a few milligrams per liter. In other case, this material, if it's too much, it closes all the aroma in the wine. The second problem is that if you pick up the grape that is not ready, is not perfect, the tannins are green. The tannins that you have in the mince, or you have also in the skin, is green. In this case, when you make the wine, since he is young, is green. The wine explains the green part of the wine. And when he evolves in the time, he transforms the sensation in, I don't know in English, in quina.
Quina in ink, in the dark.
Yeah, black
ink.
And also, when these tannins are not ready, if you close in the bottle, where is in the limited situation about oxygenation, it closes also, in this case, the aroma to the grape, to the wine. And for these two situations in the past, they suggest to open the bottle a few hours before, or also the day before, and to put in the decanter before to permit it to absorb the oxygen. But if the wine came from to the respect, it came from to the grapes that are ready when they pick up, you no need to open the bottle. Because only the time to bring the core to put in the glass, the wine is perfect. And also another secret is that if you are in front to the wine that quality, you open the bottle, you drink, you taste, is fantastic. after half hour, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, the day after, the wine is good, no problem. But if they press the process, if they put some product for stabilization or for to give more complexity, aroma, etc., when you open the bottle, okay, it's perfect. But step by step that he bring oxygen, he explained the sensation to the iron, to the ferro arrugginito, come si dice?
Rusty iron.
Okay,
Like that.
the metal.
Nice.
So, in this case, you are in front of the wine that they give too much. They want to change too much the real life. But in about to my wife, you can open and start to drink, no problem.
You want to
Also,
comment on,
a few years back. Sorry, prego.
do you want to comment on the alcohol percentage? It's a little bit less than Amarone, for example, and some other Tuscan wines.
So I'm in the area where many wine are made with the dry process before fermentation. And in this case, you have the wine that they have 14.5, 15, 15.5, 16 alcohol. But I told just a few minutes ago that if it's the alcohol that came from to the natural process and the respect is no problem. You can drink, okay, you must stop yourself after half bottle, okay, in the lunch or in the dinner, but other problem, absolutely no. Because it's the natural alcohol that the process transformate that it came from to the grape that you did the wine, stop, no problem.
It's delicious.
Thank you, John. Any other questions?
We certainly love the wines of yours that we have drunk so far. We're looking forward to this very much.
I just wanted to thank you, Celestino, for your time today. And it was nice to see you. We met you when you were here at Veneto a couple of years ago. Hope you have a chance to return.
Yeah, in fact, I remember your face.
I was probably one that had it in the soup or something, but I was wondering if you could share, what is your very favorite food with the Oseleta?
Meat, for me, the best is boiled meat. Okay, the meat cooked with the vegetables in the water for many hours, you know.
Okay.
With the peara, we have the special cream.
Yes.
The peara that is black pepper with the bread, and in the past they use also the
Bone marrow.
midollo osseo is the top.
Okay.
Or also grilled meat is okay, no problem. Or also the special fish, I don't know, I don't know in English, trota or salmone.
It's like the salmon trout.
Yeah.
Kind of that fatty. Oh, the eel.
This is the top.
Eel and Oseleta.
Really?
Fantastic.
Yes.
So are you selling in Japan?
Good cheese.
So take a bottle next time you go eat sushi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Why not? Why not?
It's really good.
It's also good.
Yeah. It's a little.
Oh, but I suggest also to taste the other wine that I produce, because every wine is one project. Every wine, from to the base wine, that the easy wine for every moment, to the important wine, the top wine, I try to explain, to respect it, to explain the perfect identity to the grape or the blend or the project that I decide wine by wine. It's a good experience.
Yes.
We
Thank
love
you.
them. We love them.
And then
So do
if you have occasion to visit us here, is also another good experience.
We'd love to.
Any other questions before we kind of run out of time and we go to dinner?
No, I'm very happy to have this opportunity. When we were first, in the early days, when we were first getting to know Marco and Amy, we shared a bottle of Pintarelli. And he said, you need to start drinking Zýmē. So we look forward to this moment for a long time. We're very happy to have met you this evening.
I told you one experience with the Beppi, with the Giuseppe Quintarelli many years ago was in the first 4 years that I was with him. And I studied classic lyceum and then agricultura sector. But when I started in the wine sector, for me, the wine was black or white or dry or sweet. Stop. Okay. And so when I start with Giuseppe, I remember that step by step, I wrote all the information, all the operation, all the impression year by year for to build my experience. And I remember one year I asked to Giuseppe why we put in this grape this product, this quantity, I don't know of sugar, for example. I put one element that this year the vintage is completely different to the last. And he told me, you must do this because this is good. Do you understand? He no explain me why. He only you must do this because this is good. Okay.
Well, enjoy your dinner.
Yes.
You too.
Has somebody been boiling meat for you for 2 hours?
I'm sure we can find it. It's everywhere. So
Somewhere. All right. All right.
all right.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much, everybody. If there are no other questions, we look forward seeing most of you for next Sunday, the Chianti Masterclass, and then the next wine club announcement.
Please be a part of this. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So much.
Any last question? I know we have 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, how many different wines do you produce?
Many. I produce, I don't know, with the Zýmē brand are 12 or 13. But my philosophy is this. If I have the condition, the climate, the generosity from the climate, I produce all type of wine. If the weather it was different, I decide if the relation with the genetic to the grape and the generosity to the climate can give me a very good wine. You must imagine the pyramid where in relation to the quality that I can pick up in the harvest, I decide if yes or not. So the Amarone Reserve I produce 5 years in 10. Harlequin 5 years in 10. Amarone Regular 7 years in 10. The Recioto 1-2 years in 10. It happened, for example, in 2014, that was a very bad vintage that I made only with the top grape, the Valpolicella base, and the white wine, and stop. And I sold that 1,100 hectoliter to the other colleague at €2 per liter. This is the vintage that we have one time in 30 years, because the last was 1987, for example, the year that I married. But anyway, in relation to I have many label, but in general, in relation to the quality, I decide if yes or not.
you.
One last question.
Just trying to go.
How many bottles do you produce a year or cases of this wine, Oseleta?
No, I don't understand the question.
Quante bottiglie fai?
About the total or Oseleta?
Oseleta.
Oh, Oseleta.
Oseleta, I arrive maximum at 6,000.